Can we applaud you leaving this place?
Granted, grateful for just about everything, but
Should that have been a golf clap so that Chase doesn't think we're being mean?
yeah, let's revise that. We're not applauding me leaving this place. We're applauding new things.
Yeah. It was very hot in here, so some of those little hand things sounded really like...
Yeah. Oh,
No, really. Okay.
some nice ASMR.
How do you feel leaving this place after, 4 months?
I feel ready to have access to a bathroom.
Yeah. So for anyone that doesn't know, this doesn't have three things, key things?
Well, for a while, it didn't have any water, period. And so I had to run with water bottles. Then eventually we got water at the kitchen sink right below my feet right here, you can see.
If you're watching on YouTube, you can see that, there's things here.
And then we still don't have a bathroom. And so the world is my bathroom / friend's house right by, aka Chase. The place has been great. It's had its own limitations, and I'm ready to, have a real place.
And Chase is great. I love Chase.
Absolutely. Chase built this with his bare hands, having zero, certification in building or anything.
He's more certified than me. That's all I know.
Right.
This kid is 22.
Two.
And we've known him forever. And he builds houses now by himself because that's normal.
And it's incredible. Yeah. Just with this one, he wound up getting busy with some other stuff, so couldn't finish it out. But I was like, hey, that's fine, man. And it has been fine. I've gotten a lot done. I finished second site in here and started a whole bunch of other stuff that will be coming out hopefully soon.
So that's what I want to talk about is how hard it's been, or at least it seemed over the last 2 or 3 years, to produce stuff, to put content out into the world. I feel that there's a ton of reasons why we haven't put out a lot of content. And a lot of that is the same sort of stuff any artist struggles with, or at least a lot of them do. I have a ton of struggles. And living at my place, I haven't recorded anything once since we moved out of Canyon Lake.
Haven't really touched Logic.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Which is not to say that you've been doing nothing. But you haven't been doing music.
Everything I've been doing has been more like video, photo, website building related stuff. Mm-hmm. So
You think that's because it's something that you already have a handle on how to do?
The web stuff I'm leveling up. So I'm going from using Wix.com, which I used to think was the greatest thing ever. And then I would go talk with people that used more sophisticated, like people that actually know how to code themselves, or they would use Webflow, which is what I'm now getting into. And I'd be like, oh, I love Wix. And they'd look at me like I was just so ignorant. And
you poor child.
Yeah. But I learned recently a few more things about Wix that makes it even more capable than I ever knew. So it's actually pretty great still. So I've been learning new things. I've been learning Webflow, and I've been learning After Effects. And
you've been getting routine set in place to help you
learn every day. Yeah, learn an hour every day. It's been really good. No, it's not anything anybody else can see.
Right.
But I know that I'm taking steps forward.
You are bettering yourself mentally.
But it's hard. It's like, if there's anything I really want to do, it's music. And so, yeah, a lot of the time I'm like, well, then why aren't I just doing music? And it's kind of goofy to think that that's what I really want. And I've spent so much time doing other things. But
you think it's because there's a level of which you see such great potential with so many ideas that you have, but the minute that you have to commit that idea to reality is the minute that you either fail or succeed, and you kind of have a fear of that potential failing?
That's one of the many things. That's two things. Okay, the fear of what I'm working on failing, and the idea that I'm going to lose what's in my head when I start pursuing it. Yeah, I'm somebody that I have a lot of things come to mind. I can hear the sounds so vividly. And the moment I start pursuing that, the sounds that I'm producing on guitar or in Logic, they wipe clean what's in my mind. That's very frustrating. I wish, a superpower of mine could be the moment I think up something, I can just I can just download that into the computer.
Right.
That would be cool. Touch the computer and just put that in.
Wouldn't that be great?
That would be ridiculous. But it would also be skipping a lot of major steps that I realistically need to just do myself, like learn how to get better at translating what's in my mind to the software.
It really is in a lot of ways like a language that you have to learn, and the better of a communicator you become, the better you can translate that from your head to other people's heads and ears and eyes and
all of their senses.
All of their senses.
But
smell music.
Smell music.
You smell every note individually.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, this with this place and then my place, which I've loved my place too.
And we've recorded in that one is the one with the big marlin.
It's the one with the big marlin. It's this 90s place with 90s. It's an 80s place with 90s carpet.
There you go.
And a giant marlin on the rock wall above the fireplace.
Very homey.
I wake up.
Question mark.
It's great. It's very big, like 1,400 square feet. Very little rent considering it's in Lake Travis near Austin. That place is expensive. This place I'm renting is super cheap because I know the couple that owns it.
Right.
But the roof leaks and I wake up with ants on me sometimes. And
dead ants, right? Or are they
No,
alive?
they're alive.
Oh, really?
They're alive. The dead ants that I've told you about are like collecting above the microwave.
Oh, jeez.
So they just fall from the ceiling.
That's their memorial, their grave site.
Yeah. Because my microwave, as you know, it sits on my counter in the kitchen.
Right.
And so these ants just fall from the ceiling, and I do not know how this works. Are they getting into poison that was sprayed and then like dropping dead?
What if it's the ants themselves? Like they've started like an entire religion that like when one ant dies, they have to throw it into Valhalla.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's probably what
I like
it is.
that idea the best.
I do too. That's a good one. And there are a ton of ants that follow that religion because there's at least 200 on my microwave right now. And we haven't been able to get that fixed. And so
and also the roof doesn't just leak; it leaks in a new place every time, right?
Right, and I learned that's because it's probably the same leak, but it's just traveling around on the inside of the ceiling and like dripping in different places. But I love the couple. I love the place. It's a great space. It's already like soundproofed because of all that carpet.
Yeah.
And
the acoustics are pretty good in there.
Yeah.
But it's a similar situation. It's like you're grateful for it and for the people that provided it, but it'll be good to have a different situation.
I feel like moving closer to Austin.
Yeah.
I'd love to play live much more often. And just get out every day and meet more people. I think that there's something about life that you should be interacting with people. You should be meeting new people. Because whenever I do that...
spending all your time in whatever you call home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever I get out, it makes my life better.
Yeah.
So I need to move. You need to move. I feel like while we're not sure yet, it probably makes sense to like get a place in Austin, even though you'll probably have to quit your job.
Well, it's not my job. It's like a part-time thing. But yeah, I probably will have to leave that.
Part-time jobs help.
They do. Yeah, it's a nice little supplement for sure. But, at the same time, from the very beginning, I never envisioned it being, or I purposefully said to myself that it will not be something that keeps me from leaving if there is better and more on the horizon.
Right.
And I think that's a good mindset to try to have, which is to first and foremost, just to know what it is you actually want and to go after that. But also to not allow, I guess, comfort or security keep you in one place.
Yeah.
If you stay somewhere or if you go somewhere, let it be because that's what you want to do or because you think that's what will be better for you.
You know, it's funny. We sound like a broken record a lot because we're always just repeating the things that our mentors taught us. Let's get into something that maybe breaks the broken record. What does Tanner want?
That was bad. I was trying so hard to do like a record scratch.
Right? That was not it.
That wasn't it.
Yeah, you said it's good to know what you want. What do you want?
I want something that actually does sort of allow me to place priority on music. I feel like I've done a good job of continuing to work on it and be consistent on it, regardless of where I've been, whether it's been in the place we last lived together or this place or even before. It's a matter of being in a position to be able to, if that's what I say is like the most important thing, then to be able to put myself in a position that actually reflects that. And living in kind of tiny little town in Texas that's, it's at least an hour away from either city, San Antonio or Austin, seems to not really say that that's the most important thing. If it's a similar thing of me wanting to play live more or be around people that can move that forward, I have to put in all this time to just getting to somewhere where those people are if I'm just living here. And so that's a piece of it. Wanting to have just a home that can embody that and actually feels like a home too. I haven't felt like I've had a place that feels like a home for a while.
I'm just not excited about the increased rent we're going to have to spend if we got a place in Austin.
That's true. Yeah.
No more living with people that we know so we get a discount and all this other stuff.
It's
it just makes us spoiled.
There are drawbacks to all of it.
But, I mean, it's worth it. It's like I had this weird experience that when we lived in Canyon Lake in that place that was going to be the ultimate studio.
Yeah.
I felt that while we got stuff done, we're always justifying our time like, well, you know what? Look at those 3 songs we made. That's really great. I'd love to make 3 songs a month if I could. Like I look at all these bands I love and I'm like, wow, they released 2 albums that year and then 2 albums the next year and then 2 albums the next year. And I'm like, I want that a little bit for me to work on this more. And nothing I've ever done has felt like enough. And I don't feel that fills me with anxiety.
Right.
I don't have a lot of anxiety in my life.
Keep going, though.
It really pushes me forward, and I need to figure out something to do with this. Like, I feel like the only answer is to keep trying to figure out my schedule, my daily schedule. There's a quote that I heard the other day. I can't remember who said it. Oh, it was Lorde on Hot Ones, quoting another woman's book. Nice. See, but I can't remember that
quote
woman.
Of the quote.
It was, the way we spend our days is, of course, the way that we spend our lives. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, I want
my days to be filled with things that mean something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The older I get, the more and more my days go quickly.
Yeah.
Because I have more adulty things to do. I have to go to the store. I have to work out. I need to cook food sometimes. And I don't do that very much.
You told me the other day that you're scared of raw chicken.
I don't want to get into it. But
we'll get you over that.
I also told you the other day my goal was to spend, what was it, $10,000 annually on food, on eating out, which was a joke, by the way, but I eat out way too much.
Yeah.
It's stupid. And it's only because I feel that cooking is both something I would need to learn, and I don't want to give the time it would take to learn that because it takes time.
Sure.
I'd rather do other things.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I'll say is the more productive I am, the less I waste my time in general. Like if I have a really productive day, I don't feel as inclined to just want to blow my evening with video games.
Yeah.
If I
You
learn
have
in the morning,
momentum of wanting to continue it.
yeah, I play into the momentum of wanting to continue it. If I learn in the morning, I edit a video for a client and I record some music, right? And there's maybe 6 hours of just productive stuff. And then it's somewhere between 3 and 5 p.m. I don't just think, wow, what I really want to do right now is play a video game. I might actually go climb at the climbing gym or go on a walk outside and then come back in and want to do more creative stuff. And so I have this glimpse of like the perfect life.
What it could look like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can't ever keep that up for more than 3 days before I just break. I don't know.
I feel like, in a way, this is relatable.
Okay.
In that, in that we both kind of have that similar feeling that you mentioned earlier. I feel like it's a pretty universal experience for people to feel like what they've done isn't enough, or to have huge aspirations and ambitions. And when you realize how much it takes, you either get overwhelmed by it and decide to stop, or you simply kind of fail. Mm-hmm. And we've experienced that as well. We just plan on continuing despite it.
Yeah, definitely in America and in first world countries, it seems that people are maybe more inclined to have really big ambitions because we've become aware of big ambition thinking because of social media and other people.
Yeah.
It's easier for us to just, fly into the clouds with our thoughts. But it's still so hard to actually learn what it takes to be somebody that like walks on clouds.
Right.
And you see that that's out there. I see that that's out there. I see that there are people that have been persistent enough in trying to build a great daily schedule for themselves that they finally got to a place where they could actually uphold this really great daily schedule.
They've etched the habit into their life.
And this might be a horrible message to put online, but the way I feel personally is that it's enviable. Like I feel that that's enviable, and I don't feel bad about that. Mm-hmm. I want to seek a great, efficient daily schedule that fits me. And that would be a lot of creativity, meeting a lot of new people, going outside at least once a day, reading at night before bed, like all of these things that is sustainable.
Yeah.
Man, I've learned a lot in the last 2 years about what is and what isn't sustainable in daily practices.
Right.
I mean,
you have that kind of healthy balance between things that take away from you and things that fill you up.
Well, I guess, yeah. Yeah. It used to be like 95% video games and movies.
Right.
5% dreaming and 0% work.
Maybe like 1% work.
All right, fine. And now it feels like it's flipped so much, and I feel like so much less of a kid. Mm-hmm. But I know I have so much further to go.
I was thinking the same thing the other day. I just thought to myself, I'm really proud of where I am, while also recognizing that I'm nowhere near where I need to be.
Yeah.
And so there's just like, it's just kind of good all around, feeling ready to keep going and happy about being able to keep going.
Yeah, yeah. And you see a lot of people online that talk about like, well, to get where I got, it takes work.
Yeah.
And I hear a number of people be like, that's annoying.
Yeah.
Them saying that is really annoying. And I feel like I just agree. It takes a lot of work. I just know I haven't learned how to do all of that work yet. Mm-hmm. I have a hunch that it has to do with this daily schedule kind of thing. And that 1 week at a time, I'm kind of getting there. And maybe in 2 to 3 years, my life is going to look like something that, if I'm ever trying to help somebody else get where they want to get, and they're like, how'd you do it? I'd be like, you're in for a 5 to 10 year journey. Mm-hmm. But the good news is if you start today, in 5 to 10 years, it's going to be a thing,
Right.
Because that's basically what our mentors were like. You know, they were never rushing us to just go, okay, let's grab a piece of paper. We'll write down all our life secrets and then just pass it across the table for you to memorize.
Yeah. You have to unearth the treasures from them.
Yourself.
Yeah.
You have to like live out your days and figure out things. It is about pursuing.
Yeah.
And then through that, you get it one little nugget at a time.
It's kind of like a guide on an actual hike or journey where the guide's not just going to tell you the way.
Right.
You're going yourself. And if you wind up getting to a place where you don't know where to go, then the guide says, this is where we go.
Yeah. So
but you still have to go on the journey.
Right. You do. I'm so grateful for everything that's like led us here.
Yeah.
And yet it's funny that we've had this sort of rut again that we've been in, I would think, for like 2 years, where we have spaces with all the gear we need to do stuff, and we do some stuff. You do more than me, music related stuff, but it feels like it's not enough. Like it feels like we need to start to recognize we've learned how to be professional videographers and like sustain ourselves. We're able to live day to day pretty comfortably. We need to just focus on music.
Yeah.
Like that's where all of our time should go.
And we've talked about it before that it's easier to focus on the other things, partially because they're things that are easier to quantify, easier to finish.
Yeah, it's easier to quantify videography. I mean, our success with a client, you can do a job and then get paid for it.
Exactly. Where success with music is, you can kind of quantify it in a sense, but at the same time, it's like even people who are quote unquote successful still don't, like pay the bills with it a lot of times.
Yeah.
And so it's more of a moving target. And so if it's something that we're less able to quantify, then it's just easier mentally to be like, well, I need to get these other things done.
Yeah, totally. I mean, there's all of the music industry is poor people. And then like right there at the top, the tiny little speck at the top, it's like there's a bunch of millionaires.
Right.
And some, I guess maybe a few billionaires. But I think it's really realistic that you and I could pursue music our entire lives and it never, because I just say this because I've met a ton of adults that were good at music. Mm-hmm. I don't think they were the best at songwriting, but whatever. They never got to a point where they made a serious living with music.
Right.
And they did it for 25 years.
Yeah. And there's a chance that might happen for us.
There is a chance.
Yeah.
I'm grateful that we have our understanding of sales, and we could walk into a place tomorrow and be like, I'm a videographer. You need video? And they could be like, well, no. And then we'd kick into sales mode and get the job.
Right.
And like, I'm happy we have that.
Yeah.
I still go online and watch videos of people on stage playing music, and I just start to sweat because I'm like, that's what I want more than anything. Like if there was something in this life I were to obsess over, it's that. Mm-hmm. That idea of getting to connect with a crowd like that, getting to be a pro at making music, this magical thing people don't even fully understand that just like moves us. I'd love to be able to make that for people. Mm-hmm. And so maybe it is just what it is. We need to get a place together in Austin. We need to play live. We need to stop dilly-dallying around.
Quit ninny-jacking.
Ninny-jacking.
Tallywagging.
Wow, you're coming up with all of them. Grumpy Giscuits.
I was going to say grumblefooting.
Grumblefooting is better. Grumpy Giscuits isn't...
That's like a name or something.
Yeah, I was thinking Bumpy Biscuits, and I thought, man, my brain's turned off. But I'm trying to participate.
That's how I feel whenever it's a co-writing session with more than two people.
I get it, yeah. Oh, man.
That is where we are, though.
That's where we're at. That's where we're at today.
So, the search for a place begins, and I gotta start letting people know at the place that I'm working, hey, you're gonna be without like one of your main guys.
Oh, giving them like your... I just moved way too close to the mic. Giving them like your 2 weeks.
My whatever weeks, just I've already let some of them know, and one of them, who used to be one of my other mentors, was like, hey, I'll sit you down and I'll ask you a bunch of questions about why you're moving and what's the reasons why you think it's good, all of that, so that you can actually see if it is a good idea. And so I'm excited for him to, I guess, kind of like grill me to really narrow down good reasons to do this.
Yeah, well, the guy you
rather
work
than
for,
just feel like that's the way that I should do it.
the guy you work for is really supportive and cool.
Yeah.
So you got that going for you.
Yeah.
Remember when we were in Colorado Springs in 2019 and we were like, I had never thought of this before, but I would so live in the city.
Yeah, then we were that close to renting a house in the middle of downtown.
Which, looking back, like, I don't think financially we had that figured out at all.
We did not.
But
looking back at the same time, I'm like, it was pretty cheap for living in the middle of downtown.
It could have happened, yeah. It did look like the crack house portion of Colorado Springs.
A little bit. But it was a street away, like a block away from downtown.
Yeah. And I couldn't imagine using I'm going to sound like just so stuck up and whatnot, being like, I couldn't imagine using the tubs and whatnot that were at that place. But the people listening to this don't understand.
It did look like a crack house.
It was a weird metal tub that was like rusting, and weird is the wrong descriptor. It's one of those that you could just pick it up. It was really small,
just a tub.
And it was just sitting on the ground, like just a normal tub. But so old.
Yeah.
So old.
Yeah.
Imagine all the old people that have been in that tub.
Oh, don't do that.
Washing their old people parts.
No, stop.
It was too much.
Oh, dear Lord.
Just like I am too much in this moment. Yeah. I'm excited to move to the city.
Now here we are. Yeah. It's been a long time coming, and I feel like if music is something that's important, then moving to the city can also be a good move to make. And one other thing to just kind of, I guess, be a comforting thing with anything in life, including this. I mean, I guess some people have situations they can't get out of, but for a lot of people, and mainly speaking about us, if we don't like it or if it doesn't work,
Yeah.
just move on to something else or go back to where we were.
You know something about you and me that has almost always been a thing is how we're so uplifting and encouraging. Like the way we always just talk to each other is like, and you know what? This is going to have a good side, even if it goes bad.
Right.
We're going to end up on top. It's like, we're just weird.
Maybe.
I love it. Well,
Want to wrap this up with a good, this is great for an audio medium.
Nugs, fist bud. Let's try if we can
Fist butt?
Fist bud.
Fist bud.
But I meant to say fist bump.
Wow, you're just on.
Can we
with
fist
the
bump
words
loud
today.
enough and close enough to the mic that it picks it up?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. That was too hard.
That didn't hurt too bad though. Well, thanks for listening to that different kind of episode. If you want to listen to any of our music, it's on Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere else you can stream. We have lots of videos on YouTube, and given everything that we've talked about in this episode, hopefully a lot more on the way. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.